Hello, Ravma. This is walkthrough video number 2. I just finished walkthrough video number 1, and I am now at the top of the little slant that leads to the Priestess Hearth, tentative name for this location here. And there's an alley here, and this alley is mostly for business, I believe. There's a residence there and there's residences there, but all of this is business. This is a dental office, and this is a graveled sand, and the plateau is there, and that's the library's parking lot, and that's the post office. There's another, this is a chiropractic office that has a caduceus. So if you know me, you know that I have something to say about healing and the caduceus in particular, in terms of spiritual mysteries and the meaning of the caduceus for our energy fields. This is it's some kind of a community center that offers meetings to community organizations, kind of a space, or to rent for use or something. I've only seen activity come out of there once, and it was some probation officers, and they were making food. And so I don't know anything else about that spot, but it's very exciting because this whole area is a bunch of community services. There's a medical nonprofit over there. So I have that. If you want to know super details, just let me know, because I've got a audio walkthrough that has more details if you're interested in just helping me review the details, because I really way out of my league right now. I have no experience with this whatsoever. I just know how to talk to people and be a counselor and bring in the information, but I still need human structure and human structured thought for assistance. So, this is the Barstow Library, and the plateau is there. So I'm gonna walk over and let you enjoy those clouds. Might as well do the whole sky. So let me see. I'm trying to see if there's any other messages I'm supposed to give. I made some notes that I will look at, but one of the ideas that I got was about having a goddess library for my liturgy and theology, THEALOGY, and to be able to offer books from a curriculum that will be available for people to check out, and making sure those books are available to people within a safe spiritual space to explore that. So I love the library. So for me, that's an excuse to go and make friends with the librarians beyond what they can be with me as just a regular customer of the library, So this is the post office, and The other thing that makes me excited, which I'm going to show you once I go up to the top of the plateau. So, oh, here, let me show you this. So there's like this little stream that happens somehow, like when it rains, and there's this runoff here. This comes from like around there, and then it's a little, you can tell because of the rocks in the middle, all the little rocks down the middle, because that's what happens with water. All the rocks go to the middle bottom, and so you see that. So that was before I realized what this could be. Me and the kids had walked up here a couple of weeks ago, and I really loved that I noticed that. And so let me show you. I'm going to show you the plateau. Okay, so there's a porta potty, which is nice. And so I'm gonna walk like to the middle, and oh yeah, okay. So one of my favorite things about Barstow, when I first got here, I lived right off the highway in a worse part of town than where I live now. And one of my favorite things to do was go out to the backyard and sit on a chair with my newborn and just watch, not just the highway, but this. You know, let me finish giving you the full. And there's a B there for Barstow. So after the post office, this is the courthouse. And that is not just for traffic court. It's also a courthouse for other things. So like that's where I filed my family's court stiff when I had to respond for that. And this is also where I come when I want to reflect. There's back there's more of a parking lot structure, and there's a nice little place to come and look. And that was actually the place that I found I was sitting at the other day when I realized this plateau was just a great view. And this is another place where county services are offered. This is medical offices as well as a WIC office. And when I'm a single mother, and I'm on welfare now, and I used to be on WIC. And when I was first pregnant, I was on WIC in Los Angeles. Women, Infant, and Children. It's a program offered by the federal U.S. government through the states and stuff. And so when I was in Los Angeles, I was just talking about this the other day. Me and my baby, because I was pregnant, we had an awesome time at the WIC office in Los Angeles. And I'm not going to say exactly which one, just to protect my own confidentiality, but I had a good experience. I had a really great experience. I felt very supported, and I felt treated like a community member, and I felt nourished as a pregnant mother, because when you're pregnant, your nerves are fried because your body is going through so much, and you really need gentleness. And this is a traditional practice, but a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people they have women do a lot of things while they're pregnant, you know, and they treat women like they're going through regular life while they're pregnant. But pregnancy is a powerful, powerful, powerful time spiritually. There's a lot that can happen during a pregnancy in terms of the kind of portal that's open for spiritual energies to just, I don't know, be medicined, be brought into, for us to delve into the mysteries of life and have richer lives through those experiences. So, you know, so when I transferred out here to San Bernardino County and went to this WIC office, it transferred me to this WIC office. And within 2 visits, I was done. I transferred it to another location, but at that point had been so traumatized by the experience of going to this one and the way that they were treating us that I couldn't even with WIC. I had to take a step back. And I kind of might qualify to do that soon on a personal note, because personal is political, and this particular story is very important. I've been told to share about my journey as a mom. And so I'm saying that because now I am excited, because something that came through during my time of when I was reflecting about my experiences with Los Angeles versus my experiences here with WIC, I came up with some ideas. And it was very easy to think about what I wanted to share with other mothers that I couldn't because of the culture that exists in the WIC offices. So that's a good example of the kind of structures and the kinds of patterns of behaviors that I want to support a transition away from, so that people can better serve with their hearts when they're in service positions. Because people have so much red tape around how much they can give. And if we're not allowed to give as our spirit is calling us to give through our bodies, then we become ill. So we have to be in places and spaces that allow for us to give in wholeness. That's what I call it. And another way to say that would be to give completely. Because as spiritual beings, when we meet another, it's to offer an exchange. And when we give the exchange in fullness, then we are both complete. And then in wholeness, we move forward. And that's the wholeness that I am being modeled for cultivating. Because wholeness is a feeling. And when we know the feeling of wholeness, then we automatically know how to cultivate it. So that's why the ego's got to learn. It's got to be evolved. It's got to be massaged, because it has to learn how to get out of the way. Because the bigger things that are coming in for us to enjoy will not come through if we are constricted and defensive and closed. Okay? Rev Mom messages. I'm just going to show you a pan of some of this area here. I have two more things to share that I'm scheduling to share. So, um, these bushes here, I gave them the nickname fairy bushes because when you see them and the light is shining through them, they're just like these little fairy balls of light, you know. And I first met these relatives when I was living in Joshua Tree. And that's a very big story I'm not going to retell right now. But if you know me, if you've been around, you should know that story. And it's just really important for my ministry because the Joshua Tree is where I met these. And I am almost certain that they are indigenous to this location, this desert. And I say that to say that something that I was thinking about when I saw those yesterday, I was thinking about how exciting it's going to be to reach out to the local indigenous tribes officially as a business, as a local business, trying to learn about how to properly care for this land according to them and how to have a relationship with these beings. Because as far as I know, they can be used, they can be harvested. But when I say harvested, you know, I mean, how much do I trim from here? You know, I mean, how many can we have and how do we use what we have, you know? Because you have to start with the honest basics in order to be then creative, you know? Because what I have experienced is that when I learn what I'm going to call right now a traditional indigenous method, over the years I've been exposed to different indigenous people that were raised traditionally or that carry traditional practices. And so what I have learned is that when I start with really learning the basic, memorizing the basics of a technique, and then I take that and I pray about it and I'm creative with it in a prayerful manner. And I come up with like something cool that still honors the energy of it while bringing in like my own flair or something, you know? And that's important, you know, because we have to always be creative, you know? And the thing is that those branches have always called me to make things with them. And I've always been like, well, what do I do? I don't know what to do. What do I do? You know, how do I do it? So I'm really excited about being able to tend this land, you know, and having I can't even I'm constantly controlling myself and not showing how excited I really am for things, you know, especially when it comes to stuff like spirit stuff, because you know, as a pagan, you're not supposed to, you know, you go through all these initiations that develop your psychic abilities. And for people who grow up in mainstream belief systems and mainstream ways of looking and relating with the world, you know, certain things are dead. So the things that I'm excited about are things that some people will be considered crazy for. So that's why it takes some time for me to say things sometimes, you know, because I'm moving through a world where a lot of people still have to, for their own livelihood, they have to pretend that things are dead when they're not. even if they feel otherwise. So, my work in being myself is to change that, because we're all evolving, and